Hi, my name is Audrey Hesse, and this is my Persuasive Speech. So, children from a very young age start to participate in sports. That's usually whenever most kids start participating in sports is, whenever they're, between 4, 6, 7 years old, is whenever they play their first set of sports, which is fantastic. And children need the exercise. They need the structure that sports gives them. They need all of these things in order to apply them into their everyday life from then on out. Whether that be their home life, their school life, their work life, whenever they actually get a job. All of these things, they need that structure, and they need all of the things that sports can give them in order to thrive and be a productive member of society. Children, according to the CDC, need at least 60 minutes of exercise every single day. Children get that whenever they have their morning recess, whenever they have their lunch recess. And then those children that do sports, they get their exercise after school. They participate in tennis or baseball, volleyball, basketball, whatever their sport is. They get that extra activity as they go through the day. And whenever they do that, they are also getting their family members and their cousins, their moms and dads, their grandparents, whoever. They are getting everyone out and getting them the exercise and getting them everything else that they need. Children, they go from being in one position all day to going and playing and having fun and being a kid, and they do all of these things. And whenever they go out and they do all of these things, it makes them feel better about themselves. It makes them just perform better in their everyday life. But children are now just getting awarded or just being given certificates, accomplishments, trophies, ribbons, whatever, saying that you're fine for doing nothing. You showed up to every practice. You showed up to every game. Here you go. Here's an award. Just like the kid who, if they played baseball, the kid who is the best hitter gets the same trophy as the kid who just showed up to every practice. He might not have been great, but he just showed up. But then you have the best hitter. You have the best infielder. You have the best outfielder. You have the best of everything else. And if you can't show those people off and make them feel good about themselves, then they're never going to thrive on that ability. They're just going to be like, well, if Joe has the same trophy that I got, then Joe doesn't do anything, so maybe I don't do anything. And they think that they're the same whenever they're not, which discourages children from pursuing their passions, from doing better, from getting better. Whenever some kids have the natural ability, others don't. Children, if you give children an award or whatever type of accomplishment, they will, over time, according to a study that Ashley Merriman has done, they will over time exhibit narcissistic behavior, and they won't want to listen to any authoritative figure. They won't want to listen to any leader. They will think that they are better than everyone else, when in fact they are not. Children, they're given awards, they're given trophies just to say, oh, here you go. You didn't really do anything but showed up, so here you go. They are creating people who are uncoachable. Children who, the very first season, get these awards and stuff, it might not affect them too much, but you keep on, exhibiting that behavior, and over time they will be narcissistic. They will be uncoachable whenever they reach the middle school and the high school level. And if they are uncoachable, then they will be unemployable as adults. They will go from job to job to job because no one will want to keep them around. No one will be able to work with them because they will not be able to take orders. They will just think, oh, I've showed up to work. I need everything handed to me, so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. Whenever that's not the case. In the real world, you have to apply yourself. You have to do all of these things that you are told to do by your authoritative figure, whoever that may be, your boss. And then whenever you, um, no one gets just given anything. The kids that are given things, they don't work for it. They aren't given a goal. And kids are goal oriented. People in general are just goal oriented. You see someone who has something and then you want it. That is your goal. Well, if children are just given awards just because, then they're not going to strive for anything. They are going to be perfectly okay with being mediocre because they are getting the same treatment as the people who actually worked for it, which isn't creating any better society. We need to better our society, but if we can't better the younger generation or the generation who will, grow up and take over, then we are dooming ourselves. We are dooming the entire society. You know, Children need to be given structure. They need to be praised and they need to be corrected. You know, you learn by your mistakes. You can't go throughout life without making mistakes. You will make mistakes and mistakes and mistakes and mistakes, and you learn. But whenever children aren't told that they're making a mistake, whenever they're not told that what they're doing is wrong, they're never going to learn. So whenever you give children an award and tell them they did a great job, and not telling them or giving them anything to look forward to, or give them a goal, a bigger picture, then they're just going to be okay with being mediocre. They're just going to be okay with doing nothing. They're going to be okay with letting society fail. And that's not something that anyone wants. We all want society to thrive. We want to better ourselves. We want to better ourselves as a community as a whole. So by giving children these awards, just handing them out, we are not doing them any favors. We are not doing us any favors. We are doing no one any favors. And the sooner it is stopped, the sooner we can reverse those effects, and we can give everyone a bigger goal. We can make everything easier to deal with. We can make children want to play sports. Some children will not be a baseball player, but they could be a basketball player. And if they are just given everything in both sports, they could pursue basketball or baseball instead of basketball, whenever basketball was really their true calling. We don't we can't regulate that. We have to say, okay, here are some things that you can work on for next season. Get better on these things, and they will eventually get better. So that way, it is better for everyone as a whole.